Hey
Okay, we're live.
everybody, Beastly Gamer here. Thank you and welcome to Beastly Thoughts with Beastly Gamer and BriarRabbit, the show where we get together and bring you the latest in video gaming news. The last 7 days have been pretty interesting. A lot of stuff's been going on. What's going on, BriarRabbit?
Not much, man. I've been busy, and unfortunately not with fun stuff like games, but with side stuff, this kind of stuff you have to do because you're an adult and people expect you to.
What's been going on, man?
Oh man, I have a side job. We do photography, sports photography, and that has been absolutely insane with the basketball season upon us. It's about to end though. It's for like high school and rec, leagues for kids, and that's just ending. So I'm looking forward to getting a little bit of weekend time for my gaming. We got the Super Bowl today. That's pretty exciting. If you follow the Denver Who's-He-What's-Its and the Seattle people, and I'm pretty sure that Denver's going to win it this year. I think that their RBI average is much higher, and I believe they could drive to the basket much harder.
Well, it's good that we have somebody here who follows that shit because I don't. You know what? I entered into a Super Bowl bingo at work.
Yeah.
Just for the prospect of getting some extra money, I put a couple dollars in.
Sure.
And so we bet by quarter. So whoever has the correct score per quarter or the closest to the correct score, they win $25. So I think we got like 20 people to put in, $10, $5 here and there. So that's my only, prospect of any kind of engagement on Super Bowl. I've never really been big into football, and I feel like it's an American tradition or an American disease that everybody is going to be comatose today at 6 o'clock.
That's true.
I mean, if I think everybody's going to be, like this watching football at 6, I'll be doing something else. I grew up in a house where my dad always, Super Bowl, boys, Thanksgiving, football game. I was like, oh, God. And so when I grew up, I vowed I'd never have to deal with that shit. So kids who have to watch football now, you can grow up and be a beast, just like me. Yeah, here in Atlanta, man. Atlanta made national news Tuesday and Wednesday, where we got snow. Everybody, it was terrible. And see, I'm from Ohio, so I'm used to real snow.
Yeah, what'd you get? Like 2 feet, 3 feet?
Inches, sir. Check this out. We got 2.5 inches, maybe 3 at the most. And a coworker of mine called me that morning, Tuesday morning. He said, "Hey, Beastly, I'm not gonna be able to come in today, man." I said, "Why?" He said, "You ain't seen it?" I said, "What? It's snowing outside?" He said, "Yeah, look." I look outside and there was just barely any snow anyway. I was like, "You're not coming in for this?" He said, "Yeah, man, it's gonna be too bad." I said, "Oh God." Kate got up and looked out the window and started laughing. She immediately got on the phone and started calling our family members up north, telling them, sending pictures of what everybody here was so worried about. Needless to say, I learned a lesson here. Georgia is ill-prepared for any kind of snow.
Right, yeah, they don't have the snow plowing equipment, they don't have the salt for the roads.
They got a total of either 4 or 7 salt trucks for the whole
state.
I don't know if it's the whole state, but I know it's at least for the city. It's either 4 or 7. And my kid's school is pretty far away. It's 18 miles. It takes me about half an hour to take him to school and come home. School let out early on Tuesday. I left at 2:15. I got back at 7:30. Needless to say, I was very agitated. And I like you, have been very, caught up as far as work this week because Tuesday and Wednesday they closed my place of employment because people couldn't drive in the snow, right? And it took the CEO of the company 15 hours to get home Tuesday night.
Oh my God!
Slept on the side of the road. A lot of people down here got banged up. There were 992 accidents, 1 fatality, 160 injuries, and over 1,200 kids had to sleep at school that night. So
wow.
Georgia is definitely, it was nationwide news. Georgia is definitely ill-prepared for any kind of snow. And I'm from Ohio, so I thought it was funny. But being caught in it and being behind a bunch of people who don't know how to drive was very infuriating.
Yeah, it's a skill, to learn how to drive in the snow. It's like you almost have to predictively slide, and yet, you have to really prepare to brake. It doesn't matter if you have 4-wheel drive. You still gotta take a long time to slow down. So when people aren't used to it, or they don't have any experience in it, it's a difficult thing to learn to do the first time. I remember when I was learning to drive, my mother took me into a snow-filled parking lot and said, go to it. And I just did donuts, and I was sliding all over the place. It was a blast. And then you kind of just learn how to do it. But if you're not used to it, it's a nightmare. I remember driving from Texas to Connecticut. We had about 24 hours the day before Christmas Eve to get from Texas to Connecticut. And a snowstorm hit that area, you know, and it was a nightmare. It was like the bridges were completely iced over because they didn't salt them. There were tractor trailers just stranded on the side of the road. The roads down there were crowned, too.
Oh, wow.
So even if you were driving straight, you would just kind of slowly slide toward the side of the road. So it was a nightmare. You know, even we were pulling. We had a big old 4-wheel drive truck, but we were pulling a trailer, and even the two of us who had a lot of experience had a difficult time.
Well, how long was that trip through that snowstorm?
It took us a good. I think if we were driving straight for 24 hours. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to. You know, it was a long time ago. It was probably 7 or 8 years ago, but.
If any of you viewers have had any issues with the snow, with this crazy snowstorm that came through and hit the northern part of America, I know back home they were like 8 below this week.
Wow.
It was really crazy up in Ohio, man. Shutting down everything.
Cold.
School's been out. School was out all week here from Tuesday until Friday. So they're just going back, tomorrow. But let us know if you guys had any issues with the snow, if the ice miser came through and wore you out in your town.
The kids are loving that, I bet, being off from school.
Yeah. And whenever I come home tired from work, they're like, Dad, I wish you'd just play the game with us. I say, I wish you knew what it was like to work a job. You know?
You will.
Yeah, I tell them enjoy. I just had that conversation, and I'll tell all you youngsters out there, from the Beastly Gamer to you, if you're at home, you got a game console, you got parents at home, and you got chores, and you got school, enjoy it. Revel in that moment, because once when people are young, they really are in a rush to grow up. I want to grow up. I want to get a car. I want to get married. I want to go to the service. Once you're an adult, you can't backpedal. You can't go back. You cannot ever go back to being a child again. You can't go back to having very little responsibility. Once it's on you for life. So you better enjoy it while you can.
That's right. Enjoy the situation you're in, because you probably won't be there again. Although in my 20s, I acted like a child, and that was pretty fun.
I think we all did. I think most people around that age, they drift out and then try to sneak back into the house and then drift out again until they find themselves. You know, I was one of those.
The last good birthday you have is the one. What do you have? You have 16's a big one, right?
Yeah.
18's a big one, depending on the state you're in. And 21 is kind of the last big one, where you finally could go out to bars and you realize what a fun time that could be. But then you never really have a birthday that you actually want to celebrate again. You wish you could just stay at that 21st birthday for the rest of your life.
Believe it or not, they're treating 13 like it's a big deal now. My son, he'll be 13 June 2nd, and he thinks being a teenager is the best thing ever. And I just tell him, son, you're just getting old. That's all you're doing. I mean, don't be happy you're getting old. Just try to stay young. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
You know? But there's been a lot of stuff. What have you been hearing this week, man? There's been a lot of news that have come out, and it's probably too much for us to cover in the show, but I know that, a majority of it we're going to be able to get out. What have you been hearing out there, BriarRabbit?
All sorts of good stuff. I've been still trying to figure out if this Nintendo's Fusion rumor is real or not. I haven't really found anything other than that original post on, I think it was Nintendo. I can't remember the post now. I'd have to go back and look. But I haven't really heard anything like positive or negative, whether it's a real rumor or not. It reminds me a lot of when we first started hearing rumors of the Xbox One, and a lot of that stuff came to fruition. A lot of that stuff got cut on the drawing room floor. I don't know if you remember when we first heard about the Xbox One. They talked about this kind of laser light system that you could put in your living room.
And it'd go outside your TV, and it would add an extra dimension. I forget what it was called.
I don't know, but it sounded awesome.
Yeah, that thing got scrapped. That would have. I mean, the system was already $500. Imagine what would have been if they had included. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but yeah, it was like a virtual reality projection. It would be projected from either from the Kinect or from the console in some way, and it would add a few inches outside of your television. Yeah. You could have maps, or you could have other things outside of the TV to add a new dimension to the video game. That would have been nice. but that
Yeah.
Xbox One would have been $800.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Onslaught on Call of Duty Ghosts. I've been really enjoying the new maps. They've been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying running around as Michael Myers. I've heard that some people are getting copyright strikes if they run that fog map and that Michael Myers, the Michael Myers music comes up, that Halloween music. What is that noise?
Hold on. Can somebody please stop that dryer? Damn it, hold on.
So yeah, Beastly can't hear me right now, but we'll continue the show with the dryer.
We're going to load the washer without putting everything on one side. And that, people, is how you do not load a washer. It's like they put everything on one side of the washer. Jeez.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live.
So yeah, I've been really enjoying Call of Duty Ghosts. Most of my videos have been on Call of Duty Ghosts. I've been playing Tomb Raider the Definitive Edition. Have you checked this out yet?
No, I haven't played it.
It's goddamn gorgeous. It's unbelievably
Really?
good looking. Yeah, I put a video up it was Friday night, Saturday morning. It took so long to render the video that I didn't get it out till Sunday morning or Saturday morning. Man, that game looks so good.
Wow, it's that much better. Okay, so but it's just basically it's a fresh coat of paint, and you're playing it on what?
Fresh
the
coat of
Xbox
paint.
One or
PS4. Yeah, I bought it for the PS4. I was really. I talk about this in the video, but I couldn't decide whether I wanted to digitally download it or buy the box copy at GameStop. I ended up buying the box copy just because I figure I'm not going to play this game for a year. I'm going to play it till I finish the single player. Maybe I'll play it through twice, but I doubt it. So when I'm done with it, I'll probably just want to bring it back to GameStop, get $20 or $30 for it, and move on to the next thing. Titanfall is coming out next month and all.
So you've really been enjoying that, and the PS4 version is 60 frames per second. They're using the same textures for both consoles, so the graphic fidelity is actually going to be the same. It's both 1080p, but the Xbox One frames drop, so it gets to the mid-20s actually during cutscenes.
Oh, really?
On the Xbox One version.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things I like about that game is that the story and the gameplay are so well integrated. You almost don't know when you're in a cutscene and when you're not. But they do use QuickTime events, which sucks because, when you're watching the story, you can't just put down the controller, lean back, and enjoy it. You got to be ready to hit, X as fast as you can.
Now, during that episode a few moments ago when it was Attack of the Washing Machine,
yeah,
you were telling me about this Onslaught DLC, and people were getting strikes for uploading what now?
Oh, okay. So people are getting strikes on their channel for uploading the Michael Myers Halloween theme music. So when anybody on the map gets that Michael Myers care package, that music starts playing, which is a really cool feature. But that music apparently is licensed by somebody, and people are getting strikes on their channel for having it up there, or copyright claims on their channel, not strikes.
Oh man, I can't wait till I get it. Wait till you hear the music I want to put in there instead of that. Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I've been really having fun with that new Bayview, especially is so crazy. There's just there's like 4 main buildings and all these alleyways and all these lines of sight. It's just incredible. I got a gameplay where I go like 44-10 on a team deathmatch. It was just a fun gameplay. So we're gonna do a rom-com tonight after the show, and me and Jan will do a voiceover on top of it.
Yeah, Kate and I are doing Beauty and the Beast tonight. I don't think we did. I don't think we did one last week, and so we did. I went back a little bit. I played some Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.
What's that for?
It's for PS3 and the Xbox 360.
Oh, okay.
It was the one created by, I want to say, is it Slant 6? It's made by the guys who made SOCOM.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it plays like SOCOM. It's a third-person perspective game. And, I mean, if you ask me, it could be better. It does have its issues. The hit marks are terrible. You can hit a person 20 times with a gun before they, with a bullet before they die. Mm-hmm. And, it's very, very dark, and that was one of the major issues when it first came out. But overall, I think it's a pretty fun game. So I'm going to upload a little footage of that tonight, let some of the guys out there see, the first section of the game while Kate and I, chat it up a little bit. But, yeah. But, I mean, if you never played it, I'd recommend it. It's probably really, really cheap now. You can probably get it for $10. Might be worth a shot.
The problem is my PS3 and my Xbox One are both sitting on the shelf, not plugged into anything.
Oh, yeah, so you're starting your own game shrine. Nothing wrong with that, man. Did you hear about the leaked PlayStation Now games that are available for the testing, for the beta testing?
No. What games are they?
Okay, this article is on GameSpot.com. It says PlayStation Now beta games include Killzone 3, Shadow of the Colossus, and a few more. Users who have received access to PlayStation Now data have leaked out the short list of first and third-party games that are available to stream. One of the participants in the PlayStation Now beta has leaked the entire list of games that beta testers are able to play using Sony's newly announced game streaming service. The list, which the tester sent to GamePer, includes Killzone 3, Puppeteer, Shadow of the Colossus. Those are first-party games. Third-party games are Papa and Yo, Darksiders 2, MX vs. ATV Live, Disgaea 4, Ninja Gaiden 3, and Shatter. So
it's a pretty decent list. It's less for me about the list of games because I know that that'll grow as the service matures. It's more about the price for me, I think.
Well, I think the price will probably be a little bit more than Netflix. It might be $10 a month, hopefully $15 a month, somewhere in that area. But I'm more concerned about how well this thing is going to stream. It's going to be streamable to the PS3, to the Vita, and to the PS4, and to Sony Bravia TVs. So, and they also said something about it coming to iOS and Android. So it all depends on how powerful your actual device is to be able to stream these PS3 games. They've also verified that they're going to be streaming PS2 and PS1 classics as well. So I mean, this is going to be something I think it's going to take off if they can price it right, and if they can create it in a way that it doesn't degrade the actual play mechanic. If you're using your DualShock 3 and it feels like you're actually playing it on a PS3, I think that's going to be a big deal. But if there's a lot of latency issues, people are going to step away from it, I think.
That was Illumaroom, by the way. I just looked in the chat.
Illumaroom,
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Illumaroom. Have you heard anything about Nintendo, man?
No. I did. Okay, go ahead.
Nintendo, and it's a bad thing, because I actually really like Nintendo. I like what they have done. I think they've done it to a fault, though. They've stuck with one strategy for so long, and for so long it worked. And they still do have a lot of fans that say, Nintendo, don't ever change. Don't change what you're doing. We like what you do. We like the kind of games you make. But, the times are changing, and a majority of gamers have grown up, and they want something new. So I hate always, Nintendo's been getting an ass whooping for the last couple of months.
Yeah, from us for the last 3 weeks. That's all we can talk about.
I mean, but it's not just us, BriarRabbit. It's everybody. It's reviewers. It's consumers. It's it's outlet centers. Everybody knows that this Wii U thing is doing terrible, and it appears Nintendo is open for a merger or acquisition. This article is on games.yahoo.com. I'm not going to go through all the slashes. You guys find it yourself. But it says Nintendo owns one of the most enviable stables of characters in the video game world, but no one is envying the sad state of the company's flagship Wii U console. In response to significant losses and frustrated shareholders, the company that has created so many icons says it might be open to buying others or perhaps even merging its portfolio with someone else. In a talk with Japanese newspaper Nikkei, Nintendo President Satoru Iwata says he's open to mergers and acquisitions, a dramatic philosophical change for the company, which is something that they've never considered. This is Nintendo. This could be a step in the wrong direction, I fear. We should abandon old assumptions that our business, he said. We should abandon old assumptions about our business, he said. We are considering M&As for an option. For this reason, we'll step up our share buybacks. Don't expect Nintendo to be snatching up anyone anytime soon, though. Iwata noted that the company's extensive cash reserve, and it recently announced a $1.2 billion stock buyback. So they're buying their own stock so they can own more of their self. Yeah. But they're open to mergers and acquisitions. There's somebody at the top of this pedestal who's making some big changes.
What do you think this means? Does it mean that Nintendo wants to start buying game studios? Does it mean that they're looking to get bought by another company? Like if Microsoft showed up with a boat, a truck full of cash, they'd be like, "All right, you got all our properties." What do you think this means?
It's kind of like how Square used to be Square and became Square Enix to me.
Yeah.
Namco Bandai. These
Yeah.
companies used to, be a solitary entity, and now they have joined with other companies, and actually they flourish. Now, I don't know if Nintendo's planning on doing something like that. He's laughing at you. Come over here and say hi. You see, look, I don't know if she wants to be,
I have to get the cup for the baby.
she tried to run. This is not 12 frames per second, babe. She thought it was a 20 frames per second thing, but I think it could be potentially really good if they do if they really give this a lot of thought and maybe merge with a company that's also successful but has something else that they can add to the portfolio for Nintendo.
Like who though? Like what would, if they merged with somebody, who would that be?
There aren't any companies like these three.
Yeah.
Valve just created the Steam box. If they didn't do that, then that would be a possibility. But if they're open to,
they're completely different markets though. Steam is really just PC, and Nintendo is really just the Nintendo console. They don't even.
Yeah, but the fact that they're looking into potentially merging with other companies means that they're open to the prospect of changing what they do.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to stay the same, they would stay the same.
Imagine if they did like Sony. Like, what if them and Sony came together, and Sony, built the hardware, and Nintendo became basically a developer for Sony? That'd be pretty amazing. I don't know if Nintendo fans would be too happy about it.
I just don't think Nintendo would do it. Nintendo has so much money. Really, they are swimming in a boat made of money. They can fail and fail and fail and fail. They can probably fail 10 major consoles and still be okay. They've got so much, residual income. It's ridiculous. I don't think they would do that. I don't think they're going to go the way of Sega.
No.
I think that more than likely they're going to buy another company that has something special they can add and move forward in the future and potentially attract more adult gamers and who knows what other markets. If they're looking to do this, they might be looking at tablets. They might be looking at Androids. They might be looking at other avenues of gaming.
What if it was like something like Gaikai or OnLive, where they became like a streaming service for their games?
You know what happened to OnLive, don't you?
Yeah, but look at what's going on with Gaikai. Everybody's just super excited about it. It's not the technology that's the problem. It's the business model, I think, with OnLive.
Yeah, OnLive, they failed miserably. It was a sad thing because I thought it had great potential. Everybody's excited about Gaikai, but only time will tell how successful this is going to be. Because this is something totally new. With Steam, you actually download your games. Gaikai is completely streaming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a different dynamic, and if you're streaming, everyone's not going to get the same response. There's going to be latency because some people have faster internet than others.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see how this is going to work out with Gaikai. I'm optimistic about it because I love Sony. If Nintendo did do something like that, I think it'd be a great move in the right direction because Nintendo's never really cared about online. They have been very stubborn to a fault. They don't want to change their model, and that's why they're suffering now. So more than likely, they're going to try a little bit of everything and see where they're picking up positivity and reel in more of that. Because, they've just been doing the same shit for the last 20 years.
Yeah, they really have. That's true.
And so, if they open up their minds a little bit and go down 10, 15 different lanes and see, what reaction they're going to get from 10 or 15 different things, then they can focus on other things. But I think definitely this fusion thing is a great idea. The tech behind it, if it's real, is going to be amazing. And I think that if they're creating this kind of tech, they've already conceded to the fact that they're going to have to create games that are more adult-friendly. Because Nintendo's been stubborn about the tech for a long time. They just came out with a game with a console with HDMI, with HD graphics just now.
Yeah.
And so they've been real stubborn. So the fact that they're taking this huge leap forward, I think they've already conceded to the fact that they're going to have to start creating games that everybody can enjoy, and not just the family game center where the family gets together and plays Monopoly on a Nintendo console, because honestly that very rarely happens. It really does. Yeah. I think I got Hasbro.
No, I can't stand my kids. I don't want to be in the same room with them.
I actually bought, I think I have it on my Wii somewhere, Hasbro Family Game Night. I got like 2 of those.
Yeah.
And we played together as a family on our Wii for probably 2 or 3 days, and that that was it. And now it's put up. So I think they need to go after a whole new audience. I think they need to revolutionize their message. That it's not just for the kids, it's not just for the family, but it's for you. It needs to be for you. It needs to be for the individual. It needs to be able to resonate with anybody who's watching, commercial about their console, or you're watching a short little teaser. It needs to resonate with everybody. I think if they can reach out and do that and still have their portfolio of characters and games, that they're going to be really what I think they should be, one of the most predominant gaming companies on earth.
Yeah, I think they made a lot of mistakes with the Wii U. With the Wii, it really became a cultural phenomenon because they had those commercials that didn't show gameplay. They showed people having fun in their living rooms with each other. And I think with the Fusion, some of the ideas that I've heard kind of put out there are that everybody brings over their DS. So say you're a 12-year-old and you got a group of 3 or 4 friends that all want to play the latest Zelda game together. You bring over your DS. You got your save file on your Fusion DS. You hook it up to whoever's house you're at, their Fusion terminal, and then you have your screen, you have your touchpad, you have your controller, you got the big screen in front of you that everybody's looking at. Maybe it can be that group experience that really hasn't existed mainstream for a long time. Although the Wii U, I think they nailed that. Wii Sports was an unbelievable system seller. You saw a commercial for that, and you immediately wanted to check it out.
Now you said Wii U. Do you mean Wii?
Wii, sorry, my bad. When you first saw that commercial for Wii Sports, you knew you had to check that out. You absolutely had to. It was unbelievable, and that tennis game was so simplistic. But I played it for hours with my friends, and even friends that weren't gamers enjoyed it because it was something new. It was a brand new interface. I think that's what the Fusion has to bring to it. I'd like to see them keep that couch multiplayer gaming experience going. We were playing Super Motherload here up in the office. We had 3 chairs sitting in front of this little tiny ass TV, and we're all having a blast, yelling at each other, playing Super Motherload, like couch multiplayer experience. You don't get that same experience on the Xbox One and the PS4 for the most part, even though Super Motherload was a PS4 game. I'd like to see Nintendo focus on bringing that back, bringing all that new technology and bringing that experience back. It's a lot of fun. Kids still do that, and with this Fusion system, with the multiple DS hookups, instead of having that stupid big gamepad that you can only hook one up to the Wii U, with the Fusion, if you could hook up 4 or 8 Fusion DSs, that could be a really special experience. So I'd like to see them investigate that a little bit.
Well, I don't think there should be any. I mean, as far as restrictions go, if the actual hardware specs that they're rumoring out, it should definitely be able to hold, be able to accommodate at least 4 Fusion DSs.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I played Wii Sports, man. I went inside Best Buy. I used to work out there in Mount Zion, so I went in Best Buy a lot. And when they first brought this thing out, I was like, this is crap. I'm far away from the screen looking at these characters. Graphically, it wasn't very impressive, but everybody was so happy, so I finally got my chance. And I played bowling. When I played that crap, I was hooked. Had to have it. And see, the thing is, Nintendo tapped into something very rare there. And I think once they had that, they focused on that and didn't focus on finding other gems that people could actually enjoy as much as Wii Sports. And that's probably where they messed up, and the Wii kind of became a gimmick, because after Wii Sports, what did people really have? What did people really want to play?
Yeah,
we had a few good games, the new Mario Brothers, a handful, but other than those, sports titles, the Wii U kind of just sat alone by itself. And of course, people went back to their PS3, they went back to their Xbox 360 until they had friends around who wanted to bowl, or wanted to play tennis, or wanted to try some of these sports games, and it became a gimmick, unfortunately.
Yeah, my experience with that lasted for probably 2 months, and then my Wii U really just sat there collecting dust. So similar to my Rock Band instruments.
Well, I never played Rock Band at home. I also played that at Best Buy. I really liked the drums. When I met Kate, she had it on her 360. She said, "I'm going to sell this shit."
Yeah.
She was already done with it, but that was another thing that came out, and took the world by storm and then ended up being a gimmick that didn't last.
Oh, I
So,
disagree.
you know,
I totally disagree. I had a lot of fun with Rock Band. I actually went to parties that were basically focused around. It was basically like doing karaoke with these plastic instruments. It was a lot of fun. People were having an awful lot of fun trying to pick songs, and some people could actually sing, which was nice. You know, I was not included in that group of people. But I actually had a lot of fun for, I don't know, a couple of years with Rock Band.
Oh,
Not
well,
every
yeah.
day, mind you, but, you know, like once a month people would get together, have a little fun with it. You know, before we go out to the bars, we'd be playing a little Rock Band. It was a good time.
By the time you hit the bar, you guys are ready to sing. Now, what I mean by that is, and I'm not going to take it back, I think that the whole Rock Band, Guitar Hero thing, it killed itself. I think
They released too many of them, probably.
they did it to death.
Yeah.
And that's why it became more of a gimmick. Of course, the mechanic was fun. Like I said, I enjoyed playing it. But when you have, every rock band in the world coming out with their own version of the game, it's an overkill, and that's what killed that whole genre.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's too bad, I guess. It was cool that you could keep buying new songs, though. Like when when they added new music to that store, if you were interested in that band, they even came out with like a Beatles branded one, a Green Day branded one. So if you were into those bands, you could play along with the music. And now they've progressed so far that I think with Rocksmith, you can actually hook up a real guitar. And learn how to play an actual guitar with that game. I think that's fantastic. I haven't checked it out myself, but if I was looking to learn guitar again, I would definitely pick that game up.
Oh, I mean, I heard about that too. And believe it or not, that's something I've always wanted to do. My dad, he plays guitar. My grandpa, before he passed on, he was a guitarist. He made guitars, and I thought that was just too good to be true. If it is true, I'll definitely probably give that thing a shot. But playing rock and roll probably isn't my style.
Yeah, well, hey, each their own.
But yeah, those kind of games, they come and go in waves, and if they can find something that actually has real longevity, something that people can just hold on to, because I'm sure there's still groups like your group who still get together and play Rock Band.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely.
There's probably tons of people out there who still do it.
Local bars would have that thing set up,
It's a way to draw a crowd, man. Now, look, you've been really enjoying your Xbox One these last couple of days. I know for the last week, at least since the 28th, you've been going ham, and that's abbreviation for hard as a motherfucker.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes. You've been going ham on that Call of Duty. Have you heard about this rumored new Xbox One coming out?
Yeah, without the disc drive?
The white Xbox One, $399, no disc drive. What do you think about it?
Well, I don't mean to be racist, but I definitely prefer white consoles. I think they just look cooler. When I bought the PS3, I bought the white one because I just thought it looked awesome. When Microsoft switched to the black Xboxes, I was disappointed because I just thought the 360 looked cooler in that inhale shape in white. I like that white console. I just think it looks really cool. So for me, I like the fact that they're going to give you a choice. If you want to get the one that has a disc drive and it's black, then that choice is for you. If you want to have the one that's white and doesn't have a disc drive, you're just going to be able to download games and that's it. That's great, and it's $100 cheaper. Personally, there's no way I would buy a console that didn't have a disc drive because when I buy single-player games, I want to be able to trade that thing in when I'm done with it.
Oh, yeah, that's another aspect of it I didn't even mention. I actually made a video on this yesterday talking about this discless console, the pros and the cons of having one. Now, I got to agree with you. I think that the white Xbox One is very attractive. Yeah. It looks much better. It looks more – it's not more sleek, but it just looks more modern. The original looks – how many times have you seen a white VCR? If you saw one, it would look better than the black. Like, this is something unique. This is something new. Yeah. And so, to me, it does look better. But the thing is, I wanted a $400 Xbox One with no Kinect. I always wanted a $400 Xbox with no Kinect with a Blu-ray drive because I have Blu-ray movies. I like to actually have a collection of games.
And if you can't watch Blu-rays on it either. I didn't even think of that.
See, Microsoft has to pay royalties to Sony for their Xbox One because the Blu-ray tech is Sony's tech. Sony actually created it. So that's another way for them to get out of that bind. But I don't think many consumers or at least those who are very well versed in consoles and gaming in general, will want a console that doesn't support physical media.
Yeah.
Because it's some, I mean, look what happened in 2011 with PlayStation Network. When that thing went down, we couldn't even play our single-player games that were on the PlayStation Network because it was connected to the network. Not only that, everything you do with the console has to go directly through Xbox Live, and that'll be your central hub. That'll be the only place where you can go, which will restrict you. You can't go to stores. You can't go to GameStop. You can't get anything used. It eliminates so much.
That's going to be the future anyway, though. It's at this point we're just holding off the inevitable by buying physical media. You know, the publishers want this. They don't want GameStop around. GameStop is keeping themselves in business to their own credit, I think. You know, consumers, I think, eventually will move on to this digital-only media. They have in almost every other aspect. Blu-ray really hasn't been a success. People are downloading movies, renting movies off of iTunes or whatever store that they have available. Music has completely gone digital. I mean, nobody buys CDs anymore. I can't even find a CD store anymore. Strawberries, HMV, Tower Records, they're all gone. And I think GameStop is kind of on that track. I mean, they've been doing a good job of keeping themselves relevant. I think they do a good job making deals with companies with as far as pre-ordering and everything goes. I know that gamers don't like that much, but it's an unfortunate part of the business.
Me personally, I feel like it could happen that way, but then again, I have a strong sense that it might not, because we do have all digital MP3s now. All the music is MP3. Movies are all streamed and downloaded. That's true. There's a few people who go out to Walmart and buy DVDs and like to have their physical collection. But when you're talking about a video game, you're talking about a more expensive software. You're talking about $50, $60 game. And a lot of people like myself, if I go buy a $60 game, I want to actually have it. And not only that, there's a huge demographic of people who love to get used games. That's the one thing that I think is going to, permeate through this whole digital download only situation. Everybody can't buy new games all the time.
But if you look at Steam, PC gamers are already on this track. You can't find PC games in stores anymore. Almost all PC gamers are on Steam. And the people who are looking for values wait for those Steam sales, which Steam does an excellent job with. You can get really great value out of the Steam store. And when you're buying a new game, it's not $60 like it is on a console. It's $50 or $40. And, I think if we start to see that value from the Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network, it'll be a lot easier of a pill to swallow. When you buy a $60 game as a digital copy, you could buy it as a hard copy or a digital copy. It's going to cost you $60 either way. It feels more right to actually have something you can hold in your hand. But if it costs you $40 to buy the digital copy and $60 to buy the hard copy, I know I'm going to go for that $40 every time. I'm going to leave that. I don't have room to keep all this stuff anyway.
I just released that video. I think it was last night or the night before on that same subject, and I actually mentioned that almost exactly what you said. That physical copies of video games are $60, while the company is making 100% profit. They're making nothing but profit. I'd say 98% profit. They're losing no media. They're shipping nothing, and these downloads are all coming from one source to thousands of people. Now, and it is what you said. I said if a digital downloaded version of a game was $35, $40, I would definitely swallow that pill much faster than it being the exact same price across the board as one you buy inside of a Walmart. I think if you're going to get a physical copy, that should cost more. You actually have the product right there. You can take it, you can give it up, you can lend it out, you can sell it. It's actually a physical representation. If you get a $35 or $40 version of that, download only, I think that makes a lot more sense. And a lot of people are actually voicing that opinion. I don't know if Sony or Microsoft are going to listen to that, but like we saw what happened with the PS4. When the PS4 was announced, all the day one buy now games were on the PlayStation Network, and they were all still the same price as the ones in the store. And I couldn't do it. I had to actually have the disc full price.
What else are we really getting for these things? This is Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and it came with no manual whatsoever. All it came was with this like a slip of paper for a Square Enix membership. Like that's it.
Oh, and the paper square too. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so what? other than the fact that now every time I want to play this, I got to find this box and put the disc into the machine, assuming that I actually put the disc back in this box, which is about 50-50. You know, like I'd almost rather at this point. With Call of Duty Ghosts, I wish that I had bought the digital copy because I play that game so often that it'd be nice if it was just sitting on my hard drive all the time and I could just go back to it, you know, without having to dig out the disc. The other problem is the hardened edition for the Xbox One and the PS4 look exactly the same, so they're both the same box. So I just got to open it up to find out if the Xbox One version or the PS4 version is in it. That's a first world problem, though, I guess.
Normally, when I buy digital download games, I usually get the little cheap stuff like The Walking Dead, PlayStation Classics. Like I get a lot of PS1 classics on the PlayStation Store. They're $6. I mean, and a lot of these games you're gonna have to go through hell to find in the store. Go on eBay. I'll just go ahead and download that. You can delete it and re-download it. But
yeah, that's nice too. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't bought, I don't think, ever a full, you know, retail PlayStation 3 or 4 game from the PlayStation Store. Who knows what the future holds? More than likely people will. But it just has to be made easier for us to do. Once these price drops come and you can save $20 by downloading it, yeah, my hard drive would be full. You know, but as of right now, the way they have it set up, where they're counteracting one another, you got the same price. You have so much more freedom with a physical disc than you do with a downloaded copy. To me, it's a no-brainer because my physical disc, I can take this, loan it to you, send it to you, sell it, do whatever I want.
That's true.
The digital version is there forever, and there's nothing I can do about it. It can't be transported to another account. It's stuck there for eternity, and I just like having that freedom.
Well, Steam has their game sharing program where you can actually share a game with a friend, and as long as only one of you is playing it at a time, that still works. Xbox One had a similar program that I think got kiboshed during the whole Xbox 180 thing when they switched to they took that program away basically because they couldn't figure out how to make it work with their new DRM policy that they announced later, which was the disappointing part about that whole 180 was that some of those features were actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the share with 10 was something I think a lot of people were looking forward to. And I mean, of course they said 10 family members, but who has 10 family members they're going to share with? You're going to share with a couple of buddies, your brother, you know, basically anybody you want.
Oh, I got 10 family members. You know, never mind that some of them are black and live in Atlanta. You know, I swear to God, he's family.
They can tell by the beard, BriarRabbit.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, man. I think that was kind of a backstab a little bit because I don't think they had to take that away, BriarRabbit.
I don't know. You know, I don't know why they took that away. It did stink.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a major. I mean, that was really talked about a lot once they reversed the DRM. That you know now you can't share. I was like, what? Get out of here! You know, Major Nelson. He did an interview with Angry Joe, and Angry Joe was saying, he said, "Come on, man, you guys can easily reverse this DRM stuff." And Major Nelson said, "No, we can't. You know, the system cannot work without this stuff in place." And like 2 weeks later, they completely reversed everything. So it's like once I hear these lies, once you lie once, I'm like, how can I ever believe you again? And you seem malicious at this point. So I'll always believe they did it just to screw over the people who made them change their minds on their DRM.
I don't know. So much of that system had to be rewritten right at the end there. You know, they had done a lot of system software work leading up to E3, and then a month after E3, they had to start rewriting a ton of it. So there was a lot of confusion inside Microsoft. Exactly what are we going to do? What are the engineers working on? How are these new systems going to work with what we already wrote? You know, the code had to be completely changed. So I think there was a lot of confusion on Microsoft's side. There was definitely a lot of confusion on the gamer side. But the code, the people who actually writing that code had to figure this out. And I don't know that they could clearly state exactly what was going on until they actually started making it work. And it's still not working. I'm waiting for March for this new patch to come out for the Xbox One to see, you know, I want freaking headset support. I want surrounds for my headphones and, like, you know, basic functionality. I'm really looking forward to seeing what that Xbox One March update is going to have.
Yeah, they just pushed back the PlayStation 4's update to February 22nd. That's going to allow Pulse headset compatibility.
Oh, I thought those were working already.
No, they pushed it back to February 22nd.
Oh, man.
And the reason they pushed it back was to coincide with the release date of the PS4 in Japan. And see, I want so many things with the PlayStation 4's update. I want MP3 support, right? I want the ability to connect external hard drives to it because I got so many movies and music and stuff that I want to actually be able to play on here. This thing has really no media player. I want YouTube on my PlayStation 4. You know, that's one thing that's not on there, and it pissed me off because that's the only reason I really hook up my PS3 anymore. It's because I like watching YouTube on the big screen. So I mean, I also want this Pulse headset compatibility. You know, once they come up with some of this new stuff, I'm going to be spending the big bucks so I can, you know, sit beside you and have equal hardware, BriarRabbit.
Do you have the Pulse, or are you looking to buy it?
I'm looking to buy it.
Yeah, it's an interesting headset. I think it's pretty cool looking. There's a lot of new headsets coming out. You know, I know Astro's working on new stuff. They've all but like said it. Turtle Beach obviously has the new XO7 and XO4. Polk Audio has new headsets that are coming out in March. A lot of people have like a brand new like line of headsets coming out, and I'm really excited about it because my Astros, which I love, the left speaker is actually starting to fail on it. So I'm going to be in the market for a new set. So at this point, I'm waiting until March to see what Turtle Beach and Polk Audio
How long does that last?
They lasted a year.
And what were they retail?
They're $300.
Oh.
Yep.
I'd be sending that back, brother.
I've already talked to Astro. They're gonna make this right. So I think we're good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're paying that much, you know, money for something, I think it should work for longer than a year.
Yeah, I mean, speakers are a funny thing, though. You know, if you use them long enough and loud enough, they just fail. Like there's no magical speaker technology out there. I've never had a pair of like in-ear headphones, like you know, for an iPod or a iPhone, last longer than like 6 months to a year, just because I use them constantly. The Astros, I don't just use for gaming. I use them I used them while I was on my computer editing video. I used them for listening to music all around the house. I used them all the time, every day. So, you know, to me, sure, a year isn't that long, but that year was a heavy-duty year. They lasted a hell of a lot longer than my Tritons did.
There's a lot of Call of Duty going on that year, too.
That's true, and I don't know. You know, Astro. I've already contacted Astro. Astro seems like they're going to make it right. So I haven't gone through the whole process yet, but it seems like it's going to be okay.
Now, has there been any word on Microsoft becoming more compatible, like the PS4, with actual headphone jacks?
Yeah, they're releasing an Xbox One headset adapter that will have a headphone jack, similar to what the Xbox 360 had. And I think that should solve everybody's problem. There are ways to modify the Xbox One headset to allow a regular headphone cable to work with that. Like you can easily see, Instructables has a video up on how to do it, or an instruction set on how to do it. It's not very difficult if you're somewhat familiar with wiring diagrams or soldering. It's a pretty easy thing to do. Or you can buy them off of eBay. But what I'd really like to see is Xbox One just release this thing. It was originally supposed to come out in February, got pushed back to March, I think probably along with their Xbox One update. There's probably some system software support to make that work. Also, the third-party headsets got pushed back. The XO7 by Turtle Beach, the XO4 by Turtle Beach, and the Polk Audio got all pushed back. So, you know, I think that this stuff is all tied together somehow. It's like the software needs to be written so that the hardware works as well.
Yeah, and Microsoft came out with actually the Xbox One's controller is not compatible with PCs right now. And a lot of people waiting on Titanfall have been, you know, voicing their disdain for, you know, not being able to play Titanfall on the PC with the Xbox One's controller. And Microsoft initially, during a tweet, said that this is going to be compatible, and they immediately retracted that statement, saying that it's not. So I think that they need to just overall make their stuff more compatible for the consumer. I mean, everything works on PC. Xbox 360's controllers does, and unless you go and get a particular type of patch, your Xbox One's controller won't work. Let me ask you a question, BriarRabbit. Xbox Live Gold for the Xbox One, are they giving away free games monthly?
Yeah, they do, but they're not as good as what PlayStation gives away. I can't remember what the game is this month, but like right at the launch, they're giving away. I'd have to look it up. Their games, they're never notable. Like they give away Halo 2 when Halo 4 has been out for a year. You know, they give away Assassin's Creed 2 when Assassin's Creed 4 is coming out. Whereas on PlayStation, I feel like the games are much more relevant to what the new releases are, and they're of much higher value.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this right now, February's lineup for Xbox 360. 2 games, Dead Island, the first one, and Toy Soldiers Cold War. And this kind of stuff, it's like, if you look at Sony, they're giving away games like BioShock Infinite, Devil May Cry.
Don't Starve.
Don't Starve.
Yep.
I mean...
Resogun came out with the PlayStation 4. Like, it was a free game. As soon as you brought your console home, you could play that game for free. That was like, unbelievable.
Microsoft, they could do these kind of things, but it's like they want to be so stingy with these good games. And like you said, like, they gave away the original Gears of War. I think it was in December. Yeah. Gears of War, that game is like 6 years old. I mean, and no one's playing it. Everybody's already beat all the new Gears. Why would you give that away? And it just seems like kind of a smack in the face for Microsoft. We'll give you a little something, just enough to close your mouth for now, and then next month we'll give you something that came out a month after that game. I just prefer them to come out with, to start keeping up with the pace of Sony, keeping up with the times a little bit. I can see if a game came out 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, but 5, 6 years ago, people don't want games that are that old. Dead Island came out, what, 2 years ago? 2011?
I don't know.
I mean, it
might have been 2011.
Yeah, it's pretty dated, but at least the game is still kind of fun. Toy Soldiers is a Xbox Live arcade game that I have no idea. I've never even heard of it on Xbox Live, so it probably didn't do too great. But I just think if Microsoft just took a second to sit back and look at what their competition's doing and really gauge it and see how the consumers are reacting to this stuff, I'd hate it if I was exclusively an Xbox owner getting a game like this and then hearing that the people on the PlayStation side are getting games like Don't Starve, getting games like Devil May Cry. We got that in January. In January. Getting games like Devil May Cry. What else came out in January? I'm trying to remember. BioShock.
Shadow of the Colossus, the remakes for the PlayStation 3.
Like that.
Eco, the remake for the PlayStation 3. Borderlands 2 for the PlayStation 3. January was a big month for PlayStation 3 games, I gotta say, and for some of them, it prompted me to plug that PlayStation 3 in and start playing them again. There's a lot of other value on the PlayStation Network too. It's like this cross-buy idea where if I bought Guacamole for my PS Vita, I could just play it for free on the PlayStation 3. That's awesome, that's incredible. And I know that Microsoft doesn't have a portable console, but they do have cell phones. So why, if I buy the new Halo Allied Assault, I think that's what it's called, on the Xbox One, why don't I get a free copy for my Windows Live phone or whatever that's called? They have opportunities like this. Maybe it's they don't have synergy between the different parts of the company, or maybe they're unwilling to give away that shitty game for free. I don't know.
I mean, it seems like such a no-brainer. You want your consumer base to really back you. You want them to be there with you. You want them to be thankful for what you do for them. And it seems like at every turn they're trying. Well, I guess I can't say they're trying. They're not trying hard enough. Microsoft, step your game up and start giving out some good shit. I mean, and they're giving out these 2 games. They're doing it every month. Sony's been doing such a phenomenal job, BriarRabbit. I don't know how they can keep up the pace.
Yeah, Marco Salvo's in the comments right now. I know you know who that is.
What's up, Marco?
And he's like, where are the free games for Xbox One? And that's a good point. I don't know if there are any free games for the Xbox One.
That's what I asked you, and you told me about the Xbox 360 games.
Yeah, I don't know if there are.
There aren't any, Marco. Okay. The games for the Xbox One and Xbox Live service are non-existent at this point. And it's really a sad thing to see. But then again, that Microsoft has much less indie developers making games than Sony does. So Sony actually has a little bit more leeway to give out some of these PlayStation Network games on PS4 than Microsoft does, because they got less indie developers right now.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Don't Starve. I haven't checked it out myself yet. I downloaded it. I've been meaning to get into it and play it, but I got distracted by Tomb Raider. And, that's a really popular game, and they're just giving it away for free.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that it was, did you like the level up or the upgrade system that was implemented with games like Call of Duty Ghosts for the PS3, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Battlefield for PS3, how you could upgrade for $10 to the PlayStation 4 version?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. I did that on both the Xbox 360 and the Xbox or the PlayStation 3 version of Call of Duty Ghosts. I bought both of those and I upgraded them both to the next gen versions. I thought it was a phenomenal value. Only have to pay getting the games in when they were released and then being able to upgrade for only $10 to the next gen version. I thought that was an unbelievable value.
Now let me ask you a question. Why do you think they didn't do that with Tomb Raider?
I think because they, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe because it wasn't a launch game. Maybe because the game was a year old. They could have done it. It would have been a nice.
Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4 came out after Tomb Raider, and you were able to upgrade them both for $10.
Yeah, but they came out in November of 2013, and then the next gen consoles came out like a week or two later.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point. Tomb Raider
came out in January of 2013, so that was a year-old game almost by the time it came out. So it was a year later that it came out.
They want you to pay full price for an upgraded year-old game, and they only want you to pay $10 for a new upgraded game? I mean, that's one of the reasons I didn't get Tomb Raider. I have it on PS3. I actually didn't upgrade my Assassin's Creed Black Flag on PS3. Didn't do it. I've never really, honestly, enjoyed the Assassin's Creed series.
No, really? I'm surprised. I like that series.
To be fair, I didn't give it, the attention I feel it deserves because there's so much going on here. I got so much crap. And usually if I play like a really deeply story-involved game, I got to set everything aside and say, okay, I'm going to take a week to do this. And I just haven't bared down and said, okay, I want to really get into this. And then every time I look, there's a new Assassin's Creed game. I'm like, God, that means I have to put a month aside, or 6 weeks. And so I've gradually been kind of pushed back on the Assassin's Creed games. But I didn't upgrade that for $10 because I want to actually go through the other versions. I played 1, liked it, didn't play 2, didn't play Brotherhood, and didn't play 3.
Well, I don't think you need to play the old ones to enjoy Black Flag. I think that game can stand on its own. You might miss out some of the in-jokes, and some of the storylines that kind of go back, but I think that game stands up very well on its own. I think that a series that is getting that old needs to have a reset every once in a while where, hey, look, you don't have to have played these 6 other games going back for the last 7 years to enjoy this game. Otherwise, your fan base is just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And I think that's what they did with Black Flag. They said, okay, let's cut it off here. That old story is done with. We finished with Desmond. We're going to start a brand new storyline with Black Flag. And so I don't think you need to go back and play those old games to enjoy Black Flag. I think Black Flag is the start of a new storyline for Assassin's Creed. I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed 2. I thought it was phenomenal. I liked the first one. I thought it was cool. But the second one was phenomenal.
Okay, so Black Flag stands alone. Okay, well, that's
good. You can absolutely enjoy that game without having played any other game in the series.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying. That's the reason I didn't get Tomb Raider is because I felt like it just wasn't right, man. I didn't want to pay $60 for a game I already bought just for a graphical upgrade when I'm on a new console and they've already implemented this upgrade system that, honestly, it could have been implemented, but they decided not to. They gave you all the DLC, which is a good thing.
Or charge $40 for it. Like, why is it got to be $60? It's a year-old game. All you did was update the graphics. It's not like you had 3 years of development for this.
It's just a graphical upgrade, and it was $60. Yeah, I mean, any kind of discount would have worked for me. But the full.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it sounds like it just hit you. Why did I just pay $60 for this?
I was in GameSpot just trying to buy a new controller. I was like, oh, look, Tomb Raider. No intention of buying that game.
I think I'm probably going to get it, but I might wait until a better discount or a better value comes out. I just honestly, if it's a new game, I think it should be $60. If it just came out, if it's a new release, $60, no complaining here. But if I've already played the game and beat the game and enjoyed the game a year ago, I just can't. $60 for it again. It's not like I'm going to get a whole new experience in any kind of way other than graphically, and it looks better on both new consoles than it does on the PC.
Oh, it looks fantastic. It's a gorgeous game. What if they did Last of Us with all the DLC, brand new graphics, and let's say an exclusive piece of DLC just for the upgraded version, but charge $60 for it?
Man, how you gonna do me like that now? Come on, man. I plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I plead the fifth. 5. 5. Yeah, I don't know, BriarRabbit. That is probably the one I might make a video complaining about it.
Yeah. But I'd still buy it.
but it would be in the background while I talk about how pissed off I was. Those bastards made me pay $60 for this shit.
That would actually be a hilarious video. If you like the gameplay is that game while you're bitching about how much money.
I can't believe I just spent $60. This game is fucking amazing. This is so stupid. $60 though. Oh. Yeah. Honestly, I'd probably have to bite that bullet and take it. For $60 the day of release. I mean, if they could do the same thing with, The Last of Us that they did with Tomb Raider. Now I've seen some YouTube videos and some images of it, but I'm sure that you'll tell me that it doesn't compare to actually playing at 1080p in front of you.
I mean, it looks good on YouTube, right? But yeah, I mean, YouTube is cutting down the bit rate, it's cutting down the frame rate. Playing it on 60 frames per second, in 1080p, it looks phenomenal. It really does. I mean, and to think, I was really impressed with how well it looked. And then I started thinking, man, this game was designed for the PS3 and Xbox 360. This is a last-gen game that they just upgraded. How good are the new games going to look? Like come November of 2014, how good are these games going to look? They're going to look awesome.
I mean, yeah, man. If they could do something similar with The Last of Us, I'd be upset, but I'd take it.
Get over it.
I'd get over it. I'd be mad on the way home, but I'd be driving extra fast just to get it in the console. I'd be so pissed off. I'd be speeding to get home. But yeah, if they do that, I'm definitely on board. I'd be upset. It's one of those things, a deal you can't refuse when you're pissed off about it. Like if a person asks you, either you can die being shot or you can die being stabbed. You know you're going to lose either way, but you got to pick one. I'm going to have to take that game and go home and play it and rant while I play it. But we're going to see this year really the start of what these consoles can do. I'm really excited for both of them.
Yeah,
honestly, I talk a lot of shit about Xbox, I do, but I'm going to have one this year. I might get it this month just to have it. If they can come out with a $400 version that actually has a Blu-ray drive, because I really want to see how well that Kinect works. I know you use your Kinect camera when we do Beastly Thoughts, right?
No, I've stopped doing that. I was using it for Skype conversations.
Oh, it was Skype. Okay.
Yeah, I was recording. I was doing a Skype conversation on the Xbox One, and then recording the screen with the Elgato, and that's how I was doing it. But now that we switched to Google Plus and we're doing them live, Google does all our recording for us. So all I have to do is set it up and start it.
Fuck it, let's do it live.
Do it live.
O'Reilly was the man back when he was young, man. Yeah, but I think this year when games like Infamous Second Son come out, when Titanfall comes out next month, we got so much to look forward to.
I am so looking forward to Titanfall. I can't wait for that game.
I'm going to be on my PC playing that.
Do you know how much the special edition is for Titanfall?
It's like $150, right?
$250.
What comes with it?
I don't know. It better come with goddamn gold brick.
Are you going to get it?
No. There's nothing that they could put in that box. That would. I don't buy like the elite editions of Call of Duty, and I'm like the hugest Call of Duty fan.
Yeah.
I don't need an RC car with Call of Duty branding or, any of that stuff. I buy the hardened editions because they come with the season pass, and that's it.
sometimes I mean I do like some of these special editions that come out with actual figures of the actual player and stuff.
Yeah,
I
I've got
really,
a couple of those, like the BioShock Big Daddy I have on my shelf, and the Pip-Boy, or like that Pip-Boy character.
Pip-Boy,
From
Fallout 3.
yeah.
Yeah, man. The one I wanted that didn't get released here was the one that came out with Dead Island. It was just the torso of a woman. Her
What
head
is it?
was,
Like her head was
gone.
removed? That's kind of funny.
It was a zombie torso, and it was just. I mean, some people think it's just distasteful. I'm a gamer, and I like zombie games.
Yeah.
Have you seen the game Dying Light that's coming out for PS4 and Xbox One this year?
No, I haven't.
Man, BriarRabbit, when I tell you these systems are going to fucking blow your socks off this year, oh my god. Imagine Dead Island, but faster, and it's more insane. These zombies are fast, they run after you, and then it's a day and night cycle game, so when the night comes, it's kind of like Castlevania 2. These things become faster and more ravenous. They'll climb up walls to get you. It's not just a flat terrain. You can run and jump in a window or jump on top of a building and scale roofs. The game looks amazing. If you guys haven't seen Dying Light, YouTube it and check it out. There's a few people who actually have footage of it, of the beta. And the beta looks better than anything as far as first person that's out. The beta looks better than Battlefield. It looks better than all that shit.
Right.
It's a zombie game.
Is it going to be multiplayer? Or?
I don't know. I mean, right now it's a first person survival horror shooter / melee, but it's so fast and fluid. It just looks incredible. And the zombie genre is really one of my favorite genres out there.
Yeah,
when I saw this game, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, I have to have it. Dying Light this year is going to be amazing. It's also coming out on last gen consoles, which for people who don't have the next gen, don't wait, your time's coming. But I have to have that game. I gotta have Infamous. What are some of the other PS4 games that are coming out this year that you're looking forward to?
There's another one that starts with a D. I always want to call it Defiance, but it's not. That's not what it's called.
Oh, are you talking about with the guy? There was a dragon breathing fire at him.
No, it's like a group of guys. The trailer shows a group of guys who are walking through the city that is like, it's been abandoned, or it's some kind of apocalypse has happened, and it's a very tactical shooter where you're sending your teammates to go, like, get cover behind this car, get cover behind that car. You got air support coming in, and you're fighting another squad, and you kind of clear out this hospital or something, and it's very tactical.
The Division. Had to have
Division, yeah, that's what it is.
Tom Clancy's The Division. That shit looks so real, man.
And then the best part is right at the end, they run across another player's group, and it turns out this is a freaking multiplayer game. Holy shit! Like, I was blown away. Like, I was totally digging that trailer. Like, oh, this game looks like it's gonna be fantastic.
They pushed.
Wait a minute! It's an open world multiplayer game.
Yeah, in New York. When I saw the realism of that game, I think I was probably more impressed with that game than any game so far I saw on the PS4 or Xbox One. When they had the shootout outside the building at the beginning of the trailer, and he crouched down next to the police car, he walked past the back of the car and he closed the door. I noticed that little small detail. The door was cocked open slightly. He grabbed it and closed it as he went around the corner. I was like, this is going to be insane. Okay, what do you think about the Order 1886?
I haven't seen any video of this. I just saw in the comments, 9to5 Gamer says that game's not coming out to 2015 Division. That's disappointing. I was hoping that was 2014. Yeah, the Order looks fantastic. I've only seen screenshots of it, and I've read about the gameplay. I haven't actually seen a trailer. Are there any trailers out for it?
I haven't seen anything new. I'm still trying to figure out what it is. It looks good, right?
Yeah, it's a cool idea, right? It's kind of a steampunk version of like the Arthurian knights, right? Like you could be Sir Galahad or Sir whoever, but you have like guns and swords, and it almost looks like, oh man, it looks cool as hell.
To me, I'm curious as to what the enemies are in this game.
I'm curious about that too.
That's a good question. In my mind, I'm thinking either werewolves. I mean, for some reason, I'm getting that vibe. I'm getting the underworld vibe. You know, the underworld movies, vampires and werewolves. For some reason, when I see this trailer, I'm overcome with that kind of feeling that there's going to be. I mean, you can't see the enemies. It's a foreboding atmosphere. There's fog everywhere, and you feel like there's going to be something coming out of this fog that's fucking scary. So I'm thinking that it's going to be either like werewolves. For some reason, I'm thinking werewolves or maybe vampires. But I like the whole feel of it. It's modern and it's vintage at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like a vintage reality, which is an alternate reality, but they have modernized weapons, and it just looks like it's going to be freaking. I mean, it looks awesome. I don't know what it's going to be, but
it looks like the weapons from that Hansel and Gretel movie that came out I think last year, where it's it's like a steampunkish take on oldish new weapons. It's, there wasn't a whole lot to like about that movie, but that was one of the things I did like.
That movie was decent. Okay, what about the Xbox One? Okay, we already know Titanfall's coming. What else are you looking forward to this year?
Titanfall. I mean, that's it. Titanfall. That's the only exclusive I'm looking for the Xbox One. But I'm really, really looking forward to it. It is the game that I'm looking forward to the most this year. Destiny's coming out. That's a multi-platform game. I honestly don't know of another Xbox One off the top of my head that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah,
but Titanfall.
Titanfall. I think everyone who owns an Xbox One is excited for Titanfall. I mean, put it this way: however many Xbox Ones have been sold, 95% of that number is going to have Titanfall released.
Oh, absolutely! It's going to be the biggest selling game for Xbox One, no doubt about it. There's people are just buying the Xbox One just for that game.
Just for that game. A lot of people are buying the Xbox One. They go home and they're waiting for that game. So it's going to be a big deal. I'm hearing that the next Halo game, they got some artist renditions of the game out right now that have been leaked. I think it's coming out 2015. Are you big into Halo?
Halo, I've fallen off of the Halo bandwagon a little bit. I was really riding high. I have the cat helmet, sitting in somewhere, it's in a box somewhere at this point after like 4 different times I've moved. But yeah, I mean, I loved Halo, but at this point, Halo 4 was disappointing for me. The multiplayer wasn't. I feel like they tried to bring Call of Duty's kind of play mechanics into Halo too much. And Halo was something different, and it needed to stay something different. And now that Bungie's not involved with it, I've lost my passion for it. I think that's 2015 too, though, right? They're going to re-release Halo 2. That's the rumor.
Yeah. Well, I think that's been confirmed. I was reading about that today. They confirmed that they're going to re-release Halo 2 in 1080p, glorious 1080p, 60 frames per second. So that'll be something nice to see. I didn't play the 343 version of Halo that they created, honestly. So I can't say. You said you gave it a little shot, and it's a downgraded version compared to how it used to be?
It didn't hold up to the old stuff. It was a brand new storyline, but it also still had the Covenant in it, which was a little bit disappointing. I was really looking for like something really fresh.
A new enemy, okay.
Yeah. And the multiplayer just didn't do it for me. And I'm a multiplayer gamer. That's when I sit down to play games, that's what I prefer to do. And Halo 2 had it, Halo 3 had it, and it just started to kind of fall off, I think, really since Halo 2. Halo 2 was the highlight, I thought. No, maybe it was Halo 3. I don't know. It was pretty good in Halo 3.
Do you have did you buy Killzone Shadowfall?
Yeah, I have it. I hardly played any of it. I played enough of it to show a multiplayer match. Right when I got the PlayStation 4, I kind of just wanted to show off a bunch of games that you could get if you wanted it, and that's about all I played of it.
You know what? I played maybe 4 multiplayer matches, beat the single player, reviewed it, but that game is still selling like hell. It sold 2.1 million units.
What I got out of it, there was a lot of cool stuff. Like, I liked how the multiplayer matches kind of transitioned from, they were like, sometimes they were team deathmatch, but you're still in the same match, and all of a sudden it would go to like kind of like a what is it called? Like a domination style where there's 3 different points you have to capture. Then it would go to a capture the flag. It would kind of morph during the same match. I thought that was a really cool idea. My biggest problem with it was I felt like it kind of felt like playing Halo, but your character was really slow.
Yeah, they feel real heavy, but that's always been a trademark of the Killzone games. Actually, this Killzone, you're lighter than any other Killzone. The only other Killzone game, that actually has kind of decent movement like this one would be the one on the PlayStation Vita, Killzone Mercenary. But the other games, you feel like you're over encumbered, like you're playing Skyrim and you pick up some heavy shit and you can't move.
Too much shit.
That's how it feels on the old Killzones, and it's more of an acquired taste. I never was really big into Killzone. I played the the PS3 versions of it, played it. I liked it, wasn't loving it, but when I played Mercenary on the Vita, I was like, okay, this is a new direction. I'm really enjoying this. Plus, my Vita wasn't getting a lot of playtime, and so when I saw Shadowfall, had to get it. Got it. Graphically, it was very superior to pretty much any game I've played, but it just was not fun. It wasn't fun to me. And I know a lot of people are really enjoying that single-player campaign. I mean, the multiplayer. But I just still, I'd rather play Call of Duty at this point or Battlefield than that as far as multiplayer. PlayStation Plus, right? PlayStation Plus subscribers have tripled since the PlayStation 4 has come out. Is that any surprise?
No, I mean, why wouldn't you? If you get the PlayStation 4, you need to get PlayStation Plus to play multiplayer. So it's not optional like it was with the PlayStation 3, really. It's almost mandatory, like Xbox Live. But the value you get out of PlayStation Plus makes it a no-brainer anyway. I mean, since I've had PlayStation Plus, well, since the PlayStation 4 has come out, I've downloaded, I bet, $200 worth of software for free. Well, not for free, for the price of PlayStation Plus. I mean,
for the
awesome
price of
games.
admission,
Awesome games.
Yeah, these games have been really good. Oh, and on the 31st, a senior publishing source did confirm that there is a cheaper Xbox One coming in 2014. So that is not a rumor. It's been confirmed.
Well, is that going to be a connectless Xbox? Is it going to be a Blu-ray drive Xbox?
That's what they didn't confirm. It says Microsoft will release a cheaper Xbox One this year. A well-respected source has told VG247, apparently confirming this week's leaks out of Redmond. Microsoft has told trusted publishing partners that it will release a new model Xbox One before the end of the year, a senior source has confirmed. Although the source was unable to confirm that the system will be diskless and feature a Bluetooth adapter. So they don't know right now whether or not it'll be diskless. If it is diskless, I think that's good and bad because, the $400 price tag is really going to drop it right into that range to be going head-to-head with Sony. I mean, because that $100 differential is a no-brainer for people who are, living a day-to-day 9-to-5 life.
Oh yeah.
$100, that's a big fucking deal. I mean, you could buy a nice new game with it. You can get you an extra controller with that. So a lot of people are going to go over to Sony just based on $100. But if you can get them within that, right in that $400 range, it'll all be about the games at that point. It'll be about the games, and it'll be about whether or not this thing has an actual physical disk drive for me.
Would you rather see him get rid of the disk drive or the Kinect?
You're asking me that, really, BriarRabbit?
Because I have a different opinion than you. I think I was just looking for your answer.
Okay, I think that the Kinect, I would prefer it without a Kinect.
Yeah.
But I don't know that the Xbox One is actually, it's built around the Kinect. So unless they patch, the UI is really built around the Kinect. The motion, the Xbox, PlayStation 4. So it's really built around that. I don't think I would prefer it without a disk drive, though, because of who I am.
I think I'd prefer to get the one without the disk drive than the one without the... Like, if there are two versions that both cost $400, I think I would go with... No, I think I'm saying that wrong. I'd rather they sell one that has no Blu-ray drive than they sell one that has no Kinect, because as soon as they sell an Xbox One with no Kinect, then that's it. There's no more support for the Kinect. That's a useless feature. Because if developers can't rely on that thing being there, then they're not going to develop games for it. And I'd really like to see some games developed for the Kinect. I think it is a powerful enough device to make a real difference. And if Microsoft releases a Xbox One without a Kinect, I think it's over. It's not going to happen.
Well, yeah, I actually have to kind of agree with you there. That was part of their whole vision, right? That was their whole thing for the future, to have the Kinect. But you got to see, even as you see now, lots of the game developers are not, creating games centered around the Kinect.
Yeah, but we're still in the early versions here. We're looking at ports of Tomb Raider from, last year. We haven't even seen any real software that's been.
Now, does what is it? The zombie game, Dead Rising. Does that use a Kinect?
I think it does. I think you can talk to it. I don't know. It's been like a month since I played that game, so I'm not sure.
You were loving that game. It's been a month already?
I've been loving like 6 games since then, though.
You're a cheater.
I was loving Guacamelee. I was loving Zelda. I was loving.
Yeah.
I've been loving all sorts of good stuff.
Yeah, isn't it hard to stay focused, BriarRabbit? It's so hard, especially when something else new, good comes out. You're like, I gotta go, you know.
I got so many unfinished games sitting around like this area right here. Well, I'll get back to this as soon as I finish this other one.
Now, let me ask you a question. What are good ways that you think Microsoft can implement that Kinect 2.0 into a video game that is something they haven't done and something that the gamer would actually appreciate?
Something they haven't done, because I think they've done some cool stuff, like getting technical fouls for swearing at the game in the basketball game that came out. I would like to see a Star Wars game with a freaking lightsaber, like a real sword fighting game, Bushido Blade style, right? Like one hit will kill you.
Yeah.
Like that would be badass. And in the box you get a lightsaber. How about that?
That'd be awesome, but it wouldn't last too long. I mean, it wouldn't be too much you could do with it.
What do you mean? No? You could be a freaking Jedi Knight.
Yeah, but if they made a Star Wars game like that,
yeah,
I not only the lightsaber, I want to be able to use hand gestures to use the Force. To me, I like that more. Force push, Force pull, choke. I do all that shit. Yeah.
Whoa, choke. Who are you? Who the hell are you? You don't get choke. That's bad.
Hey, I might be going to the dark side, But to me, there's just so many things that they can do, and I forget where I heard this, but I thought they were going to implement penalties on first-person shooters, split screen if you screen watch your competitor. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, because it can track your eye movement. So if you look at their screen, if you look at their side, you would get a penalty on your side. I thought that would be a fantastic way to use it. It'll actually train you to not cheat. I mean,
that's really funny. I like that. Yeah.
It's something they could do. Imagine a split screen. You're playing, local competitive Call of Duty, and they got a split screen version, and you're on this side, and your competitor's here. You're sitting on the couch. You look at their screen. You see a red box at the bottom of your screen. Penalty. Minus 100 points.
That's a great idea.
I mean, there's so many different things they can do with this thing, man, and it doesn't have to be all motion sensor. This thing it tracks your blood pressure. It tracks, your heart rate. This thing is very, very technologically advanced.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to see it come out of the box. I want to see developers starting to use it. It's in every box. Leave it there at least for a couple of years. Let's see if developers start using this thing. There's old school things that have been done in old games that kind of got dropped. Like, I think it was Burnout, that if you knocked a guy off the road, right? If you took him out, it would snap a picture and send you that picture. So if me and you are playing and I knocked you off the road, and your picture would be like, ah. And that would just get sent to me. I thought that was awesome. That was for 360 and PS3, and you had to have those accessories to make it work, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really unique things. You remember the game Manhunt?
Yeah.
Made by Rockstar?
Yep.
That game had some crazy voice commands, and it really very violent game. But I think they used the PlayStation Eye on the PlayStation version, I'm pretty sure. I know the game came out on PlayStation, and it also came out on, I want to say, was it the GameCube? But they used voice commands. I know on my PS2, you use voice commands to actually assassinate and kill people. I thought that was really unique. SOCOM did that as well, where you actually gave voice commands to your squad, told them to do things, go here, do that, do this. It's just a lot of things they can do with this Kinect.
Tomb Raider's got some of that in it, and I'm playing that on the PlayStation 4 with the PlayStation Eye, or the PlayStation camera. They dropped the Eye, but you can tell her to bring up the map through your voice instead of hitting a button. You can tell her to switch weapons without hitting a button. It's pretty, it's on the surface level stuff, but it's it's nice that it's there.
Now, you viewers, I want to know what you guys think too. What are some ways that Microsoft can implement, or these game developers can implement this Kinect? What could they do that's different? I mean, could you imagine this, BriarRabbit? You got an RPG, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just looked at the comments, and they were talking about how what if you're screen sharing, like looking at your buddy's screen while you're playing in Call of Duty? And Marco says, what if you have a lazy eye? Sorry, go ahead.
Damn.
That hit my funny bone.
Good shit, Marco. Oh, man. Okay, imagine this. You got an RPG that is graphically pretty good, okay? It's not cartoon style. It might be a little bit in between, but you're able to actually scan yourself, your family members into the game as main characters.
Yeah, man.
I mean, imagine that. You want your wife to be your love interest in the game. You want yourself to be the main character. You can sit there and stand forward, turn sideways, spin around, and the game will actually, use panoramic view to create you and put you in the game. That's some shit to the Kinect. Do something like that with the Kinect.
Absolutely.
Okay?
The next Mass Effect, instead of filling out, like trying to make my character look at me like me for the 3 hours, just take a picture from like this side, this side, and this side.
And it's
here we go. We have a pot-bellied, middle-aged warrior.
Yeah. Hold on. You talking about me or you?
I was talking about me, but...
Hey, look, that's how I describe myself too, Briar. Yeah, but there's so many things that can be done that'll, give a person a unique experience. It could be just imagine that though, a game that story is really deep that you really enjoy. Yeah. You're able to do all kinds of magic and stuff, but you look at the screen, you see yourself running around.
Yeah, and it was like photorealistic.
Yeah, saving your wife or saving your girlfriend or saving your kids or creating.
That might get creepy though.
I mean, but it'd be awesome. Imagine if you got a friend who maybe you want them to be the arch villain in the game.
What happens if this happens? Like, what if like some developer gets like super realistic about it, and all of a sudden like you're watching your kid get killed in your game?
That'd suck.
Yeah, I don't think I'd dig it.
That's nightmares suck.
Yeah.
I'm a heat treater, and sometimes I have these crazy nightmares where I see my daughter inside a basket going into a furnace. I'm like, no! Trying to go real slow. I mean, that would screw me over, but hopefully that wouldn't be in that game, especially if they're allowing you to put your kid in it. But imagine that you got a buddy or one of your friends that you've known for years. You want them to be the arch enemy of you.
Yeah.
And again, hey, are you going to be available? Come over Friday. I want you to take a couple pictures. I want you to be this villain, and you can name them that person. That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, XCOM was cool for that because I named all my new party members after like friends. So when one of them died, I got like, no.
What is it? I think Tiger Woods 2012 or 13. You could actually use your PlayStation Eye to print your own face and put it into the game.
I tried that though, and it didn't work very well.
It looked like crap. I look like a big hairy black woman.
I always had a great idea. Well, I thought it was a great idea for first-person shooters that they somehow integrate it with Google Maps. You know how Google Maps has that like 3D, or they have that like image of like local areas.
And you can run up and down your street.
Yeah, imagine that. That'd be so much fun. And like it could be like an MMO, but it's like real world. It's like the actual world.
Yeah, I mean,
integrated with Google Maps. That would be so much fun.
If they it probably wouldn't do the whole area, but say for instance maybe 2 or 3 square blocks, then the game could pause and integrate it into their graphics system. Building it might take 20-30 minutes, but by that point when you go into the game, you're actually able to walk around, go in between houses and stuff.
I want to like take over my house. Like my house is my home base, and my neighbors are dead freaking meat because I'm badass at Call of Duty. They're not keeping. That house is mine now.
Are your neighbors watching this live stream?
Oh, I don't think so. I use up all the internet for the whole neighborhood.
Oh, man. It's great, isn't it? Oh, man. But, yeah, man, I think that the Xbox One's Kinect has a lot of potential. Now that we actually talked about that, BriarRabbit, I would... Damn it, BriarRabbit, don't change my mind. Don't change my mind.
Are you on the fence about the Xbox One?
I've been on the fence for a long time, honestly. Yeah. I'm definitely going to get one. It's definite. Kate already said it's definite. She talks shit to me, okay? She says, you might as well stop bashing it because you're going to have one. I know I'm going to have one, okay? But now that we talk about the possibilities of this Kinect, it's like I would rather have a discless than a Kinectless at that if things were going in that direction. But if these publishers are creating games and not really utilizing the tech, and you got a Kinect that's just sitting there to turn on your Xbox One, turn it off, or you can just swipe through a weapon or something like that, it's not being utilized. And usually what happens is a developer will create a game centered around the Kinect and it'll flop, or they'll create a game not centered around the Kinect and just add a very little functionality. And so either way, you're getting a terrible Kinect game, or you're getting a game that doesn't utilize it properly. If they can somewhere find a comfortable medium, where you're able to use it in a unique way that it's not a stress to use, it's enjoying part of the game, but also implement it on a game that is fundamentally a good game. Story, character development, graphics, sound, and implement it that way. Hell, I'd be definitely on board. You guys let me know what you think.
Even voice commands I think could go a long way. Like Mass Effect, being able to just say, flank left, flank right. I don't want to like point here and point there because it brings me out of the experience. If I can just tell you guys to flank the enemy while I stay here, draw fire, or I can tell you to stay here and draw fire while I flank the enemy. As long as it works and they understand what I'm saying, that's great. I'm sick of those like pointer menus and like bring up, here's Rex's menu and you stay here, and like every battle I got to do that. If I can just tell them to do it and they do it, that'd be great. I'll take that out of the Kinect and be happy with it.
Or if they just implemented real world language. It's like with the Xbox One, you have to say certain things in order to get it to work. Xbox Go To instead of Xbox Play. They need to create a patch that allows you to go into that menu, select one of those phrases, and record your own phrase to go with that.
Oh, so like shortcuts, like you can do on your smartphone.
Yeah, so if it's Xbox turn off, or you could just abbreviate that to Xbox off, or just turn yourself off, bitch. You can say whatever you want, and it'll work. I think that'd be great. I mean, instead of saying Xbox Go To Forza 5, you can just say Xbox Play Forza 5. It'll be your own individual thing. It'll make it unique to the owner, so your buddies can't come around and screw you up and say Xbox off and then run out of the room, or like that Call of Duty guy, Xbox turn off.
That's great. That was great.
I was watching that again, man. That guy is tearing people up. God.
That's a hilarious idea. Like it's like one of those things where, oh, why didn't I think of that? That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely be thinking about that next time.
Yeah.
It's pretty unique.
It was a great idea. Like, you got to give props to that guy. I can't remember who he is. I had it memorized for a while. That was a hilarious video, and the reactions that he was getting were just priceless.
Oh, that Halo 2 Anniversary Edition, BriarRabbit, just so you know, is going to be released November 11th, complete with a beta for Halo 5.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about a beta for Titanfall?
No.
I keep hearing that that's going to happen, but it's getting damn close to the release date. Destiny, I heard, is getting a beta.
Oh. That's what I want. But yeah, Titanfall is coming out in March. What day in March? March what?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's right around my birthday. My birthday's the 12th. It's somewhere in there. Why would they release a beta and they got just a month and the alpha's out,
Yeah.
It seems like a wasted effort. That's what it would seem like,
Yeah, I don't know why financially you do it at this point. I'm not sure.
Some people are speculating that this new white Xbox One is a sign indicating crisis at Microsoft. What do you do? Maybe, maybe not. Well,
a little early for that. I do say that their first-party lineup has been lacking for a while now. They let go of a lot of their developers during the 360 era. Toward the end of it, their lineup was strong during the 360 era. They had a lot of awesome exclusives. Well, they don't have a whole lot of that coming up.
Well, the Gears of War is being created by a whole new studio now. Did you know that?
Yeah, I almost feel the same about Gears of War as I feel about Halo. It's like if the original guys aren't doing it, it's almost like a different game at that point. It's got the same name, but it's like if all your favorite band members left your favorite band. Like, sure, they have the same name, but it's not the same guys. It's not the same band.
Like the new Beatles, huh? Well, it's kind of like the same thing that happened with the Batman Arkham Origins game.
Yeah, sure, exactly. It's like sure, it's like it looks like the game, but it's not. It's not the same guys.
It's not any innovation. It's not being pushed forward. Now, the original team that created the game, the Arkham City and then Arkham Asylum, then Arkham City, excuse me. When Arkham City came out, they pushed the envelope in every direction. I mean, that game was bigger, it was better, it was more fights, more things you could use. It was just better overall. When Arkham Origins came out, there wasn't any innovation. They actually used boss animations from the original game. It's like they were riding on the coat feathers, the tail feathers of the studio who created the game.
Right.
And that's what a lot of these companies are doing. 343 Studios, and now I forget which company is making the new Gears of War. Black Tusk Studios is working on the next Gears of War project. So I mean, they've got a great name, but what can they do with it if they're not the originators? How can they push forward? How can they innovate in ways that the gamer will really appreciate? And a lot of these companies don't.
That series kind of felt stale to me by the time the third one rolled around, and they released a fourth one that I don't think sold very well. I can't remember the name of it. Judgment Day, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that series, it didn't evolve enough for me. That when it first hit, when Gears of War first hit, they had that cover mechanic. It was badass. You know, they had the gun with the chainsaw on it. That was awesome. They had Horde mode. That was fantastic.
That started it all, too. Horde mode started it all. All these first-person shooters, they all created their own version of Horde mode, and that's innovation. If you innovate like that, everybody has to follow suit. You know?
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. But by the time 3 came out, it's like the chainsaw gun wasn't new anymore. The cover mechanic had been copied by every game at that point. And, you know, that's not Gears of War's fault. They made an awesome mechanic. But it doesn't feel new and fresh anymore. So, like, that game it lost its appeal over time to me. The only reason I played Gears of War 3 is just to find out what happened to Dom and Marco and, you know, all those guys. Marco, I just call it. I'm just reading the comments too much. I call them Marco.
well, at least, hey, Marco, you're the man, man. I know you're in Gears of War. Shit. So we had a really, you know, down week. Like I said, here in Georgia, snow everywhere. Now it looks like Georgia again. But work was really busy. I didn't get too much video game play. And like I said today, I did some Resident Evil. I've been playing my PC. I've been playing Outlast. I'm scared of Slender now. I know you didn't play it because you didn't mention it. But I'm scared to get back into it because there's a little fucking girl who follows me around and scares the daylights out of me. Okay, this thing is terrifying.
It's just a video game, man.
Hey, look, let me tell you, I know that, but my mind doesn't believe it when it's happening. The atmosphere is it screws me over. This little kid, she's laughing and then she turns at you and starts chasing you. Then she turns into some kind of wraith or something like the chick from Left 4 Dead. She turns into that kind of thing, jumps on you and claws you, and it's terrifying. So I'm going to go play Hello Kitty. Now this week I'm going to try to get back into some games. I'm going to try to, you know, delve back deep into my Vita.
You know what you got to do?
What?
Beasley, is you got to get a Hello Kitty game and then react to it like it's Slender. You know how there's all those like Slender like reaction videos, people screaming like ah! Just do it. Dark room. Hello Kitty pops on the screen. Ah!
Yeah, that would be some good shit, man. So, what are you going to be playing this week? You going to try to get into some games?
Well, I asked my viewers if they'd like to see a Tomb Raider Let's Play, so I'll probably start a Tomb Raider Let's Play.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
That'll be my deciding factor. I'll watch your videos and see if it'll be worth me getting. I actually, you know, I love Tomb Raider. I think it was a great game. It's definitely worthy of being a contender for Game of the Year. But I don't want to have to pay for it twice. But see, The Last of Us, I would actually do it really without any complaint because I'm a fanboy. I'm basically a groupie for that game. Yeah. I made guys at work buy it. I talked so much shit about that game to multiple people that they started going to buy it.
I'm not afraid to admit that I'm definitely a fanboy of that studio. I mean, Naughty Dog has been making games that have been absolutely hitting my sweet spot for years now. The Uncharted series is amazing. You know, like it absolutely hits me right where I live. And now Last of Us, keep it coming.
Well, what are you going to try to do this week? Are you going to get into something?
Definitely Tomb Raider. I want to try Don't Starve. I don't think it's my type of game. I'm gonna give it a shot anyway. It's free. You know, what do you got to lose? I don't think there's any new releases coming out this week, though. Is there?
Not this week, I don't think. I haven't read about anything, but it's something will be coming soon. Don't Starve. Have you ever played a game that came out on the PSP first and then PS3 called Pixel Junk Monsters?
Yeah.
If you like that game, then you'll probably like Don't Starve. It's slightly different. I love Pixel Junk Monsters, man. That was the only Pixel Junk game that I really, really loved. I love that game. Me and Kate played it together. I love the whole mechanic, thinking ahead. Don't Starve is something kind of similar to that. So if you don't like those kind of games, you probably won't like it. But hey, that's the whole point of being a gamer. You're not going to like it all, but you're going to like a lot of it, you know?
Yeah, I've been using my weekend update series, where it's a series I do just to kind of talk about what's on my mind. I've been using that to like showcase games that I'm playing that aren't COD, right? Because I play so much COD. I post it on my channel so much. So I might do something that maybe I don't like, but I'm afraid to review something like Don't Starve, because just because a game isn't for me doesn't mean it's not a good game. And I can't say that I'm a strong enough game critic to really voice my opinion on whether this game is good.
Yeah,
I can tell if a game I can't stand it because the controls don't work, right? But what about a game that
you're not feeling
works, but yeah, just like the aesthetic or something like that doesn't. I'm not a journalist and I'm not a game critic. I pretend to be for movies sometimes, but I don't know. I'm struggling with that. I don't know exactly where to go with it. It's like something that I've been putting thought into. I don't know what I want to do about it.
So you're doing Roncom tonight, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna? What are you guys gonna be talking about?
I don't know. Jan usually picks the topics for that.
Well, I think I'm gonna let Kate pick our topic tonight.
Yeah.
She's been wanting to talk about ghosts and stuff, so.
Ghosts?
Yeah. I grew up in a haunted house, and
ghosts, like not Call of Duty. You say ghosts, and I just automatically ooh, Call of Duty.
I thought you were talking about spinning a clay pot in your hand, ghosts. No, but I grew up in a haunted house, and she has some experiences she wanted to talk about. I made a video a few months back, about 2 months ago, on something that happened to me in one of the houses I grew up in, and someone recently asked me to talk about it, and so I think we're going to spew a little bit of that tonight.
Nice.
It's kind of scary on the Resident Evil front, but that's all I got. What do you got, BriarRabbit?
I think I'm good to go here. I think we should get into full-on point spread, home run derby, goal, super mutant football league. I don't know.
Well, damn.
I want to see some 3-pointers out of the Denver Go Nuggets.
3-pointers. Wow. That's hardcore. Zombies ate my neighbors. Shit.
I'd like to see a 10-pin strike out of the Seattle people.
Now look, guys, for those who are streaming, Marco, I know you're there, and some others, what are your predictions on this Super Bowl game tonight? We got a little wager going on at work, the Super Bowl bingo, where we are betting per quarter. You guys let us know what you think about the Super Bowl, who's going to win, who's going to lose, what the points will be, and we'll review that later and let you guys know who was closest.
That's right. 9 to 5 Gamer says Outlast is coming out on February 5th.
On what console?
PS4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't know, man. I got it on my PC. I don't know if I'll pay full price. I downloaded.
Well, yeah, if you already bought it, yeah.
I used my brother's Steam account, and I got Call of Duty Ghosts on my PC, right? My PC runs that shit on highest settings.
You bought 2 copies of that game now?
No. I just used his Steam.
Oh, okay.
Come on, man. You got to know how to get around things like that. If I got a friend, you got a friend in me. Can I borrow your game? Sure. But, yeah.
I swear to God, he's family. Look at the family resemblance. Bearded.
Oh, mine's coming, BriarRabbit. I'm going to catch you pretty soon. But that's what I got. I want to enjoy some games tonight and probably for the rest of the week whenever I get a chance. Outlast, February 4th, you said?
February 5th.
5th?
I heard nothing according to 9 to 5 Gamers.
Okay, 9 to 5, yeah. 9 to 5 just got his channel started. You guys check out 9 to 5 Gamers if you have a chance. He's a YouTuber.
He says it's free, too.
But really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. 9 to 5, you be the man, brother. You be the man, brother. I'll definitely be giving that a shot and comparing it to the PC.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's what I got, BriarRabbit.
All right, let's end this stuff and get on to our big game Sunday super extravaganza.
You gotta go longer than that, BriarRabbit. Go on. The super fantastic expialidocious sport pigskin running 100-yard super cornflake bowl.
That's right. I don't know about you guys, but I'll be watching the first half and eating a bunch of junk food and then napping on the couch for the second half.
Have a good time, guys. I will be doing something else. I'm the Beastly Gamer.
I'm BriarRabbit.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.